Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. Now for the world brief, John Cookson joins us from London. Good morning, John.
Hey, good morning. Great to be on the morning show. And I'm hearing myself back about 5 seconds later, so I'll just take my earpiece out if the gallery can fix that. Well, the Democrats are reeling this morning after Joe Biden's utterly disastrous performance in the TV debate last night. So many senior moments, if you like, with him freezing on camera and other issues to do with his performance. It really was a bad night for the Democrats, and they're scrambling around this morning thinking, well, look, should we put someone else forward in the presidential race as a nominee for the Democrats in the election in November? It really is crunch time for the Democrat Party, and they are putting their thinking caps on and deciding just what to do. The Republicans are going even further and saying that Joe Biden ought to be removed from office now as president. Now, that is possible under Amendment 25 of the Constitution, but that needs two-thirds backing of cabinet and also the approval of Congress. And so, being realistic, that's not going to happen. From the very start, Joe Biden looked sluggish, his voice was scratchy. Afterwards, aides say that he was suffering from some sort of cold, but that just sounds really like an excuse. His first senior moment came about 12 minutes in when he was asked questions about healthcare, and he appeared to freeze on camera at the end of that question, and the anchor had to help him out. I watched the debate myself. I'm a bit bleary-eyed this morning, having got up at 2 in the morning to watch it, and some of my notes from the debate read like this: that both candidates accused each other of lying over veterans affairs and border security and the US economy. I noted that Trump repeatedly attacked Biden on his handling of the economy and foreign policy, including the disastrous withdrawal of Afghanistan, which cost so many American lives. And then there was, 30 minutes in, a jaw-dropping moment when Biden accused Trump of having all the morals of an alley cat and of having slept with Stormy Daniels, the porn star, whilst his wife Melania was pregnant with their son Barron. I mean, that moment was, as I say, just jaw-dropping in the debate. Trump hit back, saying that he'd never slept with Stormy Daniels, and also that he reminded viewers that Hunter Biden, Biden's son, had 3 convictions, felony convictions, relating to the possession of a gun. It really was an incredible debate, watched by more than 70 million Americans in real time, and millions more on social media. And I have to say that Biden at the moment is getting absolutely hammered on social media, on outlets like X and TikTok. One senior Democrat official saying this morning, off the record, there's deep and wide aggressive panic in the Democratic Party, and it's too late right now to switch candidates. So a crisis for the Democrat Party, and I would say, and this is just Cookson's opinion, I would say that Joe Biden's journey to the White House and for a second term ended last night. I'll just go back quickly to see if I can hear you now, see if the line's improved.
Okay, can you hear me now, if it's improved?
Yes, I can.
Good. I mean, I pretty much share most of your sentiments towards yesterday night, but I think the only problem with Biden was, obviously, he said all those senior moments, he was incoherent, he lacked the words, but the times he pulled out the words, he had more facts than Trump, that lied all the way and had no clear ideas and no clear plan on anything. I mean, in terms of facts, Joe Biden won that debate, but largely senior moments, he was incoherent. He had all the better ideas in the room. Trump had nothing. Trump was just blustering and was just lying himself, out of most situation. And I know why CNN didn't deliberately fact check them, because, the Republican had pointed a bad finger at CNN all this while. So CNN wanted to be careful. So that's why they deliberately did not fact check them. But Trump told a lot of lie. I mean, the fact check still came in afterwards. It was 30-9 in the end. And it was also very sad that at the tail end, They became like children, and even the biggest child in the room, Donald Trump, had to tell Joe Biden, let's not be like children when they were arguing over the handicap. And Trump was like, oh, I have a handicap 6. And Biden says, oh, I have an handicap 6 too myself. Play me on the golf course, but you must hold your cat yourself. I mean, goodness me. It's something else. The Democrats are in panic mode. One thing is certain, I like to make the big predictions. The Americans would probably tilt towards Trump because of the age thing, because historically, Americans always want a president with a sound mind. And I don't see how Joe Biden will be able to ace it, but I might be wrong. I've always called this election for Trump to win. It's Trump to lose, but it's not that he has all the great ideas and all the best facts, but it's Trump's election to lose.
All right.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. In a quick CNN poll after, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, go on. Go on, John.
A quick CNN poll afterwards, immediately after the debate, gave Trump 67% approval, Biden 33%. I think a big interesting question this morning is if the Democrats abandon Biden at this stage, who are they going to put in his place? And you look around and Kamala Harris is said to be unelectable. The only person who could beat Trump in the November election is Michelle Obama. And there's this tantalizing question now as to whether they might approach her to run because she stands a very good chance of beating Trump. Now, she said many times that she has no interest in becoming president of the United States, but the first black female president will be quite something. So a question, I think, for Michelle Obama this morning. And to go back to your other point, it is all about perception in this age of internet and social media. And although Trump clearly lied on several occasions during the debate, and he wasn't properly fact-checked, in a sense, it doesn't matter because he looked presidential, he looked good, he looked confident, compared with the man who was next to him having so many senior moments.
All right, senior moments, or as his people have come out to say that he was recovering from a cold, and that's responsible for his raspy voice and his low, lackluster performance early hours of this morning, Nigeria and British time. But you've mentioned a name, and it leads me to the question I was going to ask you, John, with regards to Michelle Obama. Some people have said, some Democrats have said that two influential figures that would determine whether the Democrats will go all the way with Biden are Michelle's husband himself, Barack Obama, and Nancy Pelosi, who are two of the strongest Democrats currently. Do you think they would pivot away from Biden, whom they have supported strongly all this while, following how bad it looks for the Democrats? Or do you think, because Michelle Obama sounds exciting, it's going to bring some fire into the race?
It's too early to say. And look, we are some 4 months away from November, and there was something that Harold Macmillan, the former British Prime Minister, used to talk about when he said, events, dear boy, events. And so much can happen in this race for the White House. You're absolutely right. The questions have to be asked about Joe Biden's candidacy and who they might replace him with. But the Democrats seem to be divided. Some are saying it's too late. Others saying, yeah, we've still got time before August and when the convention happens. The other question also is whether there'll be a second presidential debate in September, which is planned. Already Democrats are saying behind the scenes that Joe Biden won't be taking part in a second debate. The other point I would make is this, that I and other journalists have noted how doddery and frankly senile that Biden has become in recent years. If you see him away from the cameras, it's even more profound. But the point is that senior Democrats in the party must have known what Biden's demeanor was like. He's been at Camp David for a week practicing. His wife must have known. Why on earth did they put him through this ordeal? Because it was really uncomfortable watching at times. And, you know, you felt sorry for the guy, but the serious questions have to be asked of the Democratic Party elite, the chiefs in the party, as to why they put him through this ordeal and why they haven't prepared for someone else to take over. Guys?
Okay, John, yesterday you said you had difficulties hearing me. I hope this morning it will be better. Yeah. Yeah.
You're loud and clear this morning. What's gone wrong?
Okay. I hope you'll be able to hear me. Two issues, very quickly. Now, the debate between Biden and Trump. Well, I think President Biden lost that debate. But maybe it's not an issue. After all, in 2012, when President Obama, as he then was, met with Mitt Romney, he didn't do well in the first debate. And this time around, President Biden, his voice was raspy. They say he didn't have COVID, he had cold, whatever. But the big issue for the Democrats is, should they allow him to still go ahead in September? Because if he goes ahead in September, that will be disastrous. Do you think that those people who are saying, look, this president has an opportunity to prove that he's not too old for the game, miss the opportunity, do you think that they should press along that line? Secondly, France. Marine Le Pen, National Rally, and Jordan Bardella, the polls say they are 37% in the polls. President Macron is down to about 20% in the polls. But they have a complex system in France, first round, second round. They have something they call le vote utile. Do you think that Macron can still be confident that he will survive? Because it looks like Bardella is already preparing himself to be prime minister.
I don't think so. You're absolutely right. Let me give you those poll figures right now. The Ipsos poll puts RN, that's the far right party that we're talking about, and their coalition partners, Lay Republicans, on 36%. The NFP, which is a left-wing bloc, are on 29%. And Macron's party and alliance are on 20%. So you can see that RN is way, way ahead in the polls, and in recent days there's been a surge in support for the right-wing party. So we're left with this possibility that after the polls finish and close a week on Sunday, that Macron will appoint Jordan Bardella, the president of RN, as prime minister. That's incredible. That is an incredible shift in the political landscape in France, traditionally liberal and leftist. What a huge development that will be. Now, it may well be that RN don't quite get enough to command a majority in Parliament. That's bad too, because no one in France wants a hung Parliament. President Macron, who needs the support of Parliament to get key policies through, will be a lame duck president. He's president or would normally stay in post until 2027. He can't possibly do that if he doesn't have the backing of Parliament, and therefore he'd have to tender his resignation. These French elections are not much talked about, except on good stations like Arise, but the profound change that may well happen in France will impact not only in France, but also in the rest of the world in relationship to NATO, the EU, and trade, for example, with the Far East, and immigration. I haven't mentioned immigration yet. RN promising to crack down on immigration in a big way. So a profound moment in French politics coming very, very soon, guys.
All right. But do you think that President Biden will do better in September if the Democrats, when they hold their August National Convention, do not withdraw him?
I don't think we'll see President Biden as nominee at the convention in August. I can't see it. Not given his performance last night. I mean, he appeared at a Waffle House later after the debate and just seemed just as gaga as he was in the debate. It was a bad moment for Biden, a bad moment for the Democrat Party. And as I said earlier, I think his run for the White House ended in the early hours of the morning UK and Nigeria time.
Well, thank you very much for that bold prediction, John. We'll take a short break now. When we return, we'll have Rotu Sodiri to give us updates on global business activities. Stay with us.